13 benefits of coffee for your health and 11 possible side effects. In this video, we will show you the 13 benefits that coffee has for your health and the possible side effects. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to stay up to date with our updates. Number 1. Improves the levels of energy and improves your brain function. Coffee can help you feel less tired and increase energy levels. This is due to the content of a stimulant called caffeine, which is one of the psychoactive substances. Every delicious and steamy sip goes all over the body and goes right to your brain. The effects of caffeine in the central nervous system have been described for centuries. After ingestion, caffeine is rapidly absorbed into the gastrointestinal level, reaching maximum plasma levels between 15 and 120 minutes, and it reaches all organs quickly. At the brain level, caffeine blocks adenosine receptors, which leads to an increase in the release of several neurotransmitters such as norepinephrine, dopamine, and glutamate, responsible for the effects of the stimulation. Controlled studies in humans have shown that it improves various aspects of brain function, in which it includes memory, mood, vigilance, as well as the energy you have and the time it takes you to react to any stimulus. Coffee, in addition to its rich flavor, also helps your general mental function and keep you more active. Number 2. Helps you to lose weight. Caffeine is one of the most used ingredients in burning fat pills. The ingredient in coffee is caffeine. Studies show that caffeine increases metabolism by 3 to 11%, as revealed by a study from the University of London. Other research indicates that caffeine can increase the process of the pituitary or fat burning by up to 10% in obese people and 29% in thin people. Number 3. Increases physical performance. The effect of caffeine on exercise has been extensively studied. One of the effects that has been shown is that it has an influence on the perception of pain after exercise. Studies have shown that caffeine improves maximum voluntary contraction and muscular endurance, which has a direct positive effect on physical performance. This effect is achieved thanks to the release of dopamine, which has an important effect on the locomotor system. Caffeine breaks down body fat and makes fatty acids remain as fuel and get the body going. So if you go to the gym or do any activity, take a cup of coffee to activate your body. Number 4. Contains many essential nutrients. Coffee contains many essential nutrients. If every morning you are one of those who drink a cup of black coffee, you are already getting vitamin B2, riboflavin represented in 11% of the daily intake, vitamin B5, potassium and manganese 3% of your daily intake, vitamin B3 or niacin and magnesium with 2% of the daily intake. We always recommend taking it in moderation. Take advantage of the benefits and avoid side effects. Number 5. Helps reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes. We all know how dangerous type 2 diabetes. We also know its high frequency worldwide. In 2018, a summary of the works carried out was published, which included more than 1.1 million people, where it was shown that coffee consumption reduces the risk of type 2 diabetes. Even high coffee consumers with more than 5 cups a day have a risk of diabetes reduced by 29%. Other studies have revealed that 4 cups of coffee a day can reduce this risk by 25%. This reduction in the risk of type 2 diabetes is related to the amount of coffee consumed. It is considered that each daily cup of coffee can reduce the risk by 6%. Although the mechanisms of action on diabetes are not very clear, it is believed that it has an effect on a hormone called peptides, and it causes less resistance to insulin by the tissues. Number 6. Can prevent dementia and Alzheimer. Alzheimer is a degenerative disease that basically affects memory and is the most common form of dementia worldwide. This is a condition that generally suffers in people over 65 years of age, and at the moment there is no known cure. What has been determined so far are measures that can subtract its advances or progression, and curiously one of them is the coffee. Although also eating healthy, exercising, but coffee is one of the natural measures that has been proposed to reduce the risk of dementia due to Alzheimer's. Some studies show that coffee drinkers have up to a 65% lower risk of Alzheimer's in old age, according to a study by the Science Laboratory of Faculty of Medicine, Lisbon. In contrast to the Stockholm Institute of Environmental Medicine conducted a study where they could not statistically show a decrease in the risk of Alzheimer's and coffee consumption. However, there are still contradictory data in many works that force us to continue investigating this possible beneficial effect of coffee. Number 7. Possible effects in people with Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's disease is a very common neurodegenerative pathology and affects more frequently individuals over 60 years of age. The mechanism involved is a deficit of the neurotransmitter called dopamine, which allows muscular mobility. This results in muscular rigidity that progressively worsens and affects mobility until reaching even for disability. There are treatments to control the symptoms and delay the progression to improve the quality of life of these patients, but to date there is no definitive cure, and caffeine recent years has been related to the improvement of the symptoms of Parkinson's disease. Studies showed that those who drink coffee have a lower risk of suffering from it. Number 8. Helps protect your liver. Coffee helps protect the liver. This is an organ with many important functions. Many diseases affect the liver, including viral hepatitis, fatty liver fibrosis, among many others. All are conditions that can end in liver cirrhosis, in which normal liver tissue is replaced by scar tissue and its functioning is permanently damaged. Coffee has been proposed as a hepatic protective element since, according to some scientists, it can decrease the cancer risk, reduce the progression of fibrosis in various types of chronic liver diseases, and it has even been seen that it can reduce the multiplication of certain viruses such as hepatitis. These findings have been very controversial since the exact biological mechanisms are not known, as caffeine can cause these beneficial changes. However, there is no study that indicates that coffee can be harmful to the liver, so its consumption is safe, even more so, taking into account the probable benefits on the health of the liver. Number 9. It helps against depression and improves your mood. Coffee is excellent for improving mood. In terms of depression, this is a common mental disorder that can become a serious situation for many people who see their quality of life altered in a very noticeable way. It is quite common, and about 5% of people in the USA comply with the clinical criteria for depression. In 2011, Harvard University published a study where it said that women who drank 4 cups of coffee a day reduced the risk of becoming depressed by 20%. There is another study that found that the people who drank 4 cups of coffee a day were 53% less likely to die by suicide. Recently, a leading psychiatric journal compiled all available information on the subject and came to the conclusion that there is an association between the amount of coffee consumed and depression, with a risk that decreases by 8%. Number 10. It can decrease certain types of cancer. The mere mention of the word cancer is scary. It is one of the main causes of death in the world and is characterized by uncontrolled cell growth in a tissue of the body. With coffee, you can protect against 2 types of cancer, liver and colorectal cancer. Colorectal cancer is the 3rd leading cause of cancer in most countries of the world. As for liver cancer, is increasing its incidence due to the frequency of chronic liver diseases. Coffee drinkers can reduce the risk of liver cancer by 16%. A study conducted at the University of Southern California with more than 10,000 people found that those who drank 4 to 5 cups a day reduced the risk of cancer by 8%. Number 11. Helps prevent heart disease and stroke. Excessive caffeine can raise blood pressure. This is true, but in most individuals it only rises by 3 to 4 millimeters of mercury effect, that wears off in regular coffee drinkers. However, there are some people who are very sensitive to caffeine who may have a greater response in blood pressure and heart rate. To date, there is no evidence that moderate caffeine consumption may increase the risk of arrhythmias, heart attacks or heart failure, which can be seen in large consumers or high intakes in people not accustomed to drinking coffee. Even more so, some scientists have suggested that moderate coffee consumption may have positive effects on the cardiovascular system, given its nutraceutical components. Number 12. Coffee can lengthen your life by 20%. Caffeine helps by helping to prevent many chronic and debilitating diseases like the ones I have told you about in this video, and it can lengthen your life. In a study published in the European Journal of Epidemiology analyzed the data obtained from many relevant scientific papers and gathered information from more than 3.8 million people, and with 450,000 deaths in a given time, it was possible to demonstrate that the consumption of 4 cups of coffee a day can decrease the mortality rate regardless of other factors, such as obesity, cigarette smoking, alcohol consumption and age. Number 13. Is a huge source of antioxidants. If you are one of the people who have a standard Western diet, coffee is the best thing you can give your life. That's because it is very rich in antioxidants. Studies show that people who get the most antioxidants do so from coffee, even more than fruits and vegetables combined. Coffee is one of the healthiest drinks on the planet, although coffee also has side effects that you have to take into consideration. Number 1. Anxiety. As well as coffee increases alertness by blocking adenosine with the release of adrenaline, increasing energy in the body. High doses could cause you nervousness and anxiety. Number 2. Insomnia. As well as keeping you alert, it can scare you off sleep. If you drink excessively late at night, you will not be able to sleep. According to studies, the more you drink coffee, the more it will be difficult for you to fall asleep. The amount of coffee you can drink to avoid insomnia varies from one individual to another. Number 3. Stomach problems and gastritis. Many people find that a cup of coffee helps the intestines move. There is a laxative effect due to the release of some hormones and neurotransmitters that speed up activity in the colon. Caffeine increases bathroom visits and the transit of food through the digestive tract. Coffee in some people can cause gastritis and gastroesophageal reflux. If you experience this frequently, it could be caused by the cup of coffee you drink daily. Number 4. Muscle issues. Consuming a high dose of coffee can cause rhabdomyolysis, a serious disease that occurs due to massive damage to muscle fibers and the release of proteins that enter the bloodstream. Number 5. Can be addictive. Coffee can become addictive. People around the world drink coffee additively. This is because caffeine unleashes certain stimulating chemicals in the brain. We have to understand that caffeine addiction is a disease that requires specific treatment. Number 6. Increased blood pressure. Although already told you before that the increase in blood pressure is not as high, and it can be controlled when the body gets used to drinking coffee frequently, some individuals can be very sensitive to caffeine, so be careful. Number 7. Increases the heart rate. Excessive coffee drinking can increase the heart rate, although it only happens when taking high doses. This is a side effect that does not happen to all consumers. Excessive coffee consumption can also cause arrhythmias or heart rhythm disturbances. Number 8. Fatigue. You already know that coffee increases energy, but it can also have a contradictory effect, causing a rebound effect after the caffeine leaves the system. Studies have shown that people who drink coffee increase energy for a period of time, and then they may manifest more tiredness or weakness. Number 9. Frequent urination. When drinking a lot of coffee can be stimulated to the bladder, and you will need to go to the bathroom many times. A high intake can cause long-term incontinence problems, especially in women. Number 10. You increase symptoms of irritable bowel, as well as the body can suffer at the stomach level, since it increases the movement of the digestive system, can also increase the digestive process and common symptoms of irritable bowel such as diarrhea, gas or abdominal pain. Number 11. Can affect your kidneys. If you are one of those who consume large amounts of coffee, this can increase the work on the kidneys and be negative for you. However, the greatest precaution should be taken in elderly children and people with a history of kidney disease or stones. As you can see, coffee has good and bad things, whether it is good for you to consume every day, thanks to the 13 benefits that I named, as well as it is bad for those 11 side effects. Although, as you could see, the side effects are triggered only when you consume excessive amounts of coffee a day. About 4 to 5 cups of coffee every day help prevent diseases and keep you happy. We hope that this video was helpful. If you have anything to add, please share it with us in the comments. Like this video and send the link to your family and your best friends, so they also know the 13 benefits and 11 side effects of drinking coffee. If you are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe.